Imagine a young rookie stepping onto the NFL field for the first time, facing the best players in the league. For Justin Jefferson, this was no ordinary debut. Despite being selected 22nd in the 2020 NFL Draft and facing doubts about his athleticism, Jefferson was ready to prove himself. The 2020 season was an unprecedented one due to the pandemic, with no preseason and limited offseason training. Many rookies struggled to adapt, but Jefferson was different. In his first start in Week 3 against the Tennessee Titans, he exploded onto the scene. Catching 7 passes for 175 yards and a touchdown, he announced his arrival in the league with a bang. In Week 4 against the Texans, he continued his hot streak with 4 receptions for 103 yards, becoming the 5th receiver in Vikings history to have back-to-back 100-yard games in their rookie season. As the season progressed, Jefferson's numbers continued to soar. In Week 6 against the Atlanta Falcons, he racked up 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. His remarkable pace made breaking the rookie receiving record a realistic goal. In Week 13 against the Jaguars, he reached the 1,000-yard receiving mark in just 12 games, becoming the 5th fastest player in NFL history to achieve this milestone. By the end of the season, he had amassed 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 88 receptions. He was selected to the Pro Bowl and named a second-team All-Pro, a remarkable feat for a rookie. But Jefferson's journey to NFL stardom was far from smooth. Hailing from an athletic family in Destrehan, Louisiana, his father played college basketball, and his 2 older brothers had successful careers at LSU and in the NFL. However, Justin didn't inherit the same physical gifts as his brothers initially. When he first entered high school, he was only 5'7" and weighed 125 pounds. He could only make the JV team as a safety, and things got worse when he broke his elbow playing on the scout team during his freshman year. 3 years into high school, he still hadn't reached the heights of his brothers, and his dream of making it to the NFL seemed unlikely. However, a growth spurt in his junior year changed everything. He grew to 6'1" and gained nearly 40 pounds, which gave him a chance to join the varsity team. But this rapid growth brought new challenges. His knees constantly knotted up, and he ran with a limp, limiting his explosiveness. Undeterred, Jefferson dedicated himself to training. He spent countless hours with his older brother Jordan, working on route running and studying YouTube videos of NFL receivers. His hard work paid off in his senior year. His knees improved, and he became a dynamic playmaker with 44 receptions for 956 yards and 9 touchdowns. Despite this outstanding performance, he was still only a 2-star recruit, facing the possibility of taking the Division II route. But the Jefferson name carried weight at LSU, and with the promise of a scholarship from head coach Ed Orgeron, he completed a summer class and joined LSU in the fall of 2017. At LSU, his college career started slowly. He only played in 2 games as a freshman, recording just 1 rush for 4 yards. But in his sophomore year, he connected with quarterback Joe Burrow and started to shine. He led the Tigers in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. In his junior year, he was part of what might be the greatest college football team of all time. With Joe Burrow throwing to him and Ja'Marr Chase, they dominated the regular season. Jefferson led the nation with 111 receptions, his 18 receiving touchdowns were second, and his 1,540 receiving yards were third. His performances in the college football playoff and the national championship were outstanding, solidifying his status as a top prospect for the NFL draft. Even after his incredible rookie season, some doubts still lingered about Jefferson, but he silenced his critics in his second year. With a full offseason of training and an added year of experience, he took his game to a new level. In a crucial Week 11 match, up against the Green Bay Packers in the 2021 season, the Vikings needed to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Jefferson single-handedly took over the game. With 8 receptions for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns, he led the Vikings to a 34-31 victory and was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. His performance in November was so outstanding that he was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Month. By the end of the 2021 season, he had 108 receptions for 1,616 yards and 10 touchdowns. His receiving yards were second in the league, and he broke Odell Beckham Jr.'s record for most receiving yards by a player in their first 2 seasons in the NFL. He was selected to the Pro Bowl and named a second-team All-Pro for the second year in a row. In his 3rd season with new head coach Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings are off to their best start in his career. Jefferson is the focal point of the offense, and there's no doubt that he'll continue to shine. If his career trajectory continues, it won't be long before we see him in the Hall of Fame.